Welcome back to the ESPN HOOPS Hits podcast presented by Tab. I'm the Scope, joined by my man, the Grub. And Grub, it is the best time of the year for Miami Heat fans, brother.
What was that?
Play-in fantasy time. Not fantasy, play-in finals time.
Yeah, you are living in a fantasy. That's about it.
Hey, we've done some of our best work from a play-in final as well. So
yeah, but you haven't got the man anymore.
Yeah, we don't.
Your man.
But he's in another play-in in the other side.
He's the playing kid.
He's playing in on the West. And that's dangerous for the teams on the West, especially your Lakers, mate. So
my Lakers, where's that come from? But I'll tell you what, we're doing a couple of play-in playoff brackets later, and there's a bit of Lakers.
All right, then let's play on. Let's get to it. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Rory McIlroy. He finally gets that ever-elusive Grand Slam. I want to get your thoughts. We haven't had a chat about this before, and we both love our golf. We'll react to the UFC and in particular what Volk's done. Crazy. We talked about that age barrier. He's just smashed that over a year older than the 35, the number 35, which we talked about in last week's episode. Has Josh Giddey saved the Bull seasons? Well, that's an easy one. No, I'll just say no now because they're going to lose to the Heat tomorrow. And then the NBA playoffs are on. So we had a fan, someone reach out to us, and they've got a bit of a bracket. So we'll go through the bracket and see if we like it or we don't. And we'll play a special game of who would you rather? The defensive, the guys that set the tone for a couple of really good franchises, championship franchises in Dennis Rodman and Draymond Green. And then we'll predict our winners in the playoffs from the East and the West. But let's get to it, mate. Let's start with left on red. We very rarely talk some golf, so let's talk about this, mate. And it comes. The first one comes from Facebook, and it comes from Julie Miller. Congratulations, finally, well-deserved. Ups and downs, tears. Well, this had everything. Commiserations to Justin Rose. Shout out to Justin Rose.
Wow,
great play. Rory has finally got his green jacket. Does this get Rory into the top 5 or top 10 of all time? Is the question.
First things first, I just want to say that was some amazing golf. What a finish, honestly. Did you get nervous for him?
I did.
Yeah. And you know why? Because Justin Rose looked so confident. You know what he was doing in the practice shots? They were calling him. He was like, yeah, no drama's coming. Man, you're just about to play a playoff to get a green jacket, and all the pressure was on Rory. Look, obviously, gamble very responsibly. We do on this show. But we are a bit of, we're associated with Tab. I was on Rory.
Well, you were on.
I was on Rory from the start.
From the start. Nice. Congrats. Cha-ching.
Thank you. But
nice.
I was riding it with him. I think it was the 13th when he hit it, when he laid up.
Yeah.
He never lays up on that hole. I've done a bit of research after it. And then he does that chip and it goes into the water. I was like, Rory, what have you done, mate? What have you done? But this is the thing he spoke about in his interviews. He's learned to deal with adversity way better. Because the old Rory, we're all just waiting for him to crumble. Because in the past, he's gone bang, bang, gone, I'm out.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Like, as in, he won, right? He ticks that box.
Yeah.
But it's like, he was traveling and he should have never have got to that position. And for sure, he got nervous. But this could be the one now where he just drops the shoulders.
Yes.
Now you've got the monkey off the back. Now he can play with, like, I'm go back to Justin Rose. He was casual. He was relaxed. He had this mad start, and then he, sort of blew it day 2 and 3, and then he, not blew it, but, didn't have the best rounds, and then, he goes on this massive run on the final day. I would have felt like he was playing with house money. I agree with you. I caught the back end. I caught 17, 18, and was, getting updates as it was going through. I'm with you. There's no way I thought Rory was going to win it. I thought it was going to be Justin Rose.
Well,
because all the pressure.
You checked the betting just before the playoff. Rory was favourite. I didn't understand that. I could not believe it. Because it's just he's got that so much baggage.
Yeah.
This is his thing. He just cannot win a big one. 11 years.
Well, this is the one he wanted more than anything, obviously.
And that's what we talk about, right? Yeah. But then, you know what? It also just made me so happy. I nearly brought a tear to my eye when he embraced his daughter and his family. Yeah. That's just raw emotion. And that's what sport can do for people and their families. And it just was so good to see. And what about that shot? But that was it a draw? I can't remember what hole it was. There was a tree and he had to draw around it. and it bounced on him, mate. That was one of the best golfing shots I've ever seen in a pressure moment.
Mate, he's like as much as I was worried about him when it got to the moments. Geez, he's been playing well now for a couple of years, and this is just sort of like the one he needed to get done. But yeah, he's been playing really good golf, and when I seen it was DeChambeau on the final day with him, I thought there's no that was going to be it, and then he starts poorly. DeChambeau gets to within one after a couple, and then putting the pressure back on him, but he kicked away, and the back nine was just crazy.
Can I tell you, it's an opposite story. So I might have had a little responsible bet on Mr. Aberg as well.
Oh,
but
geez, you've had a good little a good little run.
I may have had a little. I just had a bit of a. I've had a few brain fades, a brain snap in my career. Well, it ended up not being a brain snap. But on Saturday, because Rory was going so well, Sunday, I just thought there was a little. I had the opportunity to cash out on Aberg, and I did.
And you took it.
Do you reckon I was happy on Monday when I woke up and he was storming for the lead?
Yeah, well, you are now.
I am now, but I was so nervous.
Not halfway through Monday morning.
I thought he was going to get it.
He's another guy. He's not too far about.
Yeah,
Ludwig. He's not too far about. Top 5, Rory. He's thereabouts.
Easy 10.
Easy top 10. Easy top 10.
After that performance,
yep.
People comparing it to Tiger in 2019. What's your thoughts on that one?
Was this the best Masters watch of all time? It's the highest rating, I believe, since Tiger or maybe potentially even 18. The Tiger story was crazy.
Just what he was going through.
And I've been a golf fan now for 10, 15 years. Caught the back end of Tiger's prime. He goes through all that drama. For him to do that was not even in golf. That's one of the better watches that you'll see. The injuries that he's carried. This is more the adversity and the mental side of it for Rory. Whereas you knew Tiger, he was busted. You could tell he was busted, and but it was a cool story.
Have you had your? I feel all golfers do this. You watch the Masters, then have your round after the Masters, thinking you're going to be.
Well, I'm keen. I'm playing tomorrow for the first time, and I'm going to be thinking of Rory when I've got the wobbles.
You're ready.
Those little 3 or 4 footers.
Well, I played today, and I played nothing like any of them.
All right, let's get to our man, the Volk. This one comes from Instagram, and it comes from Fletcher.nz. I'm sorry I doubted you, Volk, but best featherweight of all time. Volk makes a winning comeback after getting stopped 2 in a row before this. How good was the fight? Is Volk the best featherweight we have seen?
Well, Volk had a very good, would you call it the cheer squad? I watched the interview before. Sean Johnson.
How good's that?
Wow.
What about the energy?
The energy in the room to do that, and then hope everyone got on board.
Yeah.
They could have went downhill real fast.
It would have been. I would have felt so bad for him if he got crickets.
Why do I sort of wish that happened? Or is it just me, or is it just because UFC's not big enough in Australia yet? But why isn't his name held in a higher pristine? Because what he done, no one's ever done it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Because he's humble. And that sucks, because that's why proper UFC fans and Australians love him, for guys that know who he is, but he doesn't make a lot of noise. And that's a lot of the best fighters, you love to hate him. You think about the Floyd Mayweathers of the world. So he probably doesn't get as much attention. And UFC, it's a global sport, but it still probably doesn't have the popularity across, similar to how do you explain it? Because it's so brutal. There's a really strong demographic of 18 to 35 males that follow. Maybe the partners aren't as invested in it. Not to say all women, but maybe that's a factor as well.
Yeah. It is a very brutal sport to watch.
But he is an he's broken not only that, but the Drake curse as well. So
yes,
I've seen that.
Did you think watching the fight? There was they put it up on the screen, the strikes. Volk had so many more strikes, but I didn't feel he was that dominant in the fight. I feel Lopez is usually a guy that takes the fight to people, but I think that what was on the line might have got the better of him. But because we spoke about last week, Volk's done this before.
Championship DNA.
And then he knew what to do, but there was And I love Volk, I really do, but I was always a bit scared that he's just going to get clipped. And that was it.
And that's understandable. Like if you go through that, like I'd imagine if you go through that as your fighter, that would have to be in the back of your mind. Like you've been stopped, you've been knocked out very heavily as well. So what an effort. He's a dog. He works hard. He's not not super flashy, and he prepared for this fight, and he was prepared to go to war, and he's now done what no one else has done, and that's win a bout after the age of 35. So congratulations to the Volk.
Yeah, and he hasn't. This is the why I love him as well. So I think his trainers come out, and possibly today or yesterday said he's got a possible broken hand early in the fight. Like that's just tough, man.
They're animals.
That's just tough.
Those UFC fighters and boxers, like as footy players, we carry injuries, but a broken hand, did you say?
In the UFC, like in a fight. Early in a fight. And he's throwing that overhand right like he's in the back streets of Belmore like I've never seen before, mate. Unbelievable.
What about in the other fight before it? Paddy the Baddy dominates Chandler. Paddy's a weird one for me. He's a hard judge. And, we've got the Shrek emoji gift there. Who would you like to see Paddy face next? And there has been talk about Makhachev, and I just think that is crazy considering he's still, 12th 12th seed at the moment. So it's a weird one for Paddy. He is that entertaining and that much of a character. I must think I don't know how it works with the top guys and how you get a run, but I would have thought Dana, with all the popularity that he's got outside of fighting, would have progressed him if he thought he could even be in contention for a title fight.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but you spoke about he's a guy that you possibly do want to see get knocked out. Like you do. Like I'd love to see that because he's just so confident, but at the same time, there's something about him that he just, I don't know if he puts it on, eating the kebabs and all that after, but I will say one thing, he's called out Charles Oliveira, and that'll be a great fight because Paddy's jiu-jitsu, Charles is the submission king, and Paddy called him out, saying, you've been the submission king for a long time, and I appreciate you, but I feel I've just got the better moves than you. So, but look, if he fights Islam, no offense to Paddy, but he won't get out of the ring.
Yeah, well, I don't understand that right now too, because you can't be, ranked 12 in the world right now for your class, and then you sort of need to at least go through past champions like Oliveira, right? Like you've got to go through someone like that before you get a chance at Makhachev. So we'll see what happens. He's an interesting watch for sure, and he's very entertaining, and he clearly loves a burger and a hot dog after he's finished.
Did you say what? He is a burger?
He clearly loves a burger.
Oh, I was going to say.
You're trying to get me. You're trying to get Paddy Pimblett off me when you get Paddy the Baddy.
Why don't you take him on?
He's a Scouser too, mate. So don't worry. I like Paddy. Paddy's my guy.
Here we go.
Liverpool till I die. All right, here we go. This one comes from Twitter, and it comes from I'm not even going to try that. Maney.
Nah, try it.
It finishes as Maney. IDCS stuff Maney. I do something. What's the
I'm glad this is your part of the podcast to read these out because I look at them sometimes.
IDC stuff, Maney. He's got his playoff predictions up here, and he wants us to go through it. Well, I'm going to go all the way to the end. The Lakers aren't winning. In fact, the Lakers are playing the Timberwolves in the first round.
Yep.
They're going to be eliminated straight away. And Edwards,
come on, Hoz.
Rudy Gobert,
we know,
Julius Randle.
Take off your bronze. Take off your hate hat.
I've been on the Ant Edwards since the day dot.
Yeah, but they're not. The Lakers are beating the Timberwolves.
It's not going to be an easy. It's not going to be an easy.
Are they beating them?
It's not going to be an easy series.
I'm not asking you that.
I cannot say one way or the other. I think it's going to be closer than you think.
Okay.
So he's got the Thunder progressing. Well, we've still got the planes that are going to happen. So we're filming this before the planes are happening. So currently we've got the Grizzlies versus the Warriors in a play-in. And then there's the Kings and the Mavs on the West. And then on the other side, we got my Heat versus Bulls to see if they can progress as well. But let's stay, I guess we'll stay on the West here because this is probably, the teams with the most interest and a couple of guys who a lot of people would love to see get a ring, most notably LeBron and Luka to get his first ring. So Thunder versus Grizzlies, I like Thunder all the way through really, but that would be a really tough series first up for the Thunder.
I think Thunder Nuggets is a tough matchup too.
Yeah, in the next round.
You know what I mean?
But see, I don't think the Nuggets are a lock against the Clippers. Clippers are coming home strong now.
Okay.
Now that Kawhi Leonard's
Harden
back.
time.
Harden, Norman Powell, like they're going to be all right. Lakers versus Timberwolves. I think that's a genuine 50-50, but probably Lakers. And who we got in the last one? Oh, the Rockets versus the Warriors. That's not a good game for the Rockets as well. Like, as much as as good as the Rockets are, and they're an ascending young team, geez, just the veteran and the championship presence of the Warriors coming on the other side. Well, what's that?
It's curry time, man. It's curry time.
Oh, Chef Curry.
I don't know what that was, but that's what he does, man.
I was thinking of the Rockets too. I was like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, Chef Curry. Yeah,
That's
okay,
him.
I got
Come
you.
on, man.
I got you. How good would the Warriors versus Lakers in the second week of the
That'd be
playoffs
awesome.
be, though? With the East, not as excited about the East, am I?
Yeah, he balls me.
Yeah, the East bores me a bit. We'll move on.
Do you think, well, the only one that's interesting out of that, if it gets the Cavs-Celtics, can the Celtics beat the Cavs? Sorry, can the Cavs beat the Celtics? Sorry.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, okay.
I think that'll be a really good matchup. I think this series is going to get started. You know what? To be fair, if the Bucks end up taking on the Cavs in the second week, that's going to be a pain in the ass for the Cavs. The Knicks, not so much for the Celtics.
No.
I think the Celtics will go through the Knicks quite easily. So, you know, maybe if they have to play an extra game or two, the Cavs compared to what the Celtics will have to do, I reckon they'll be clinical on their side of it. The Cavs will get there, but have to go through a harder path going through Giannis.
And then speaking about getting the monkey off their back like Rory, the Celtics have that now.
Yes.
They were always that side, right?
Yeah, you're right.
That we always
Good
spoke
shout.
about. So,
All right, let's get to who would you rather. A couple of
not the
championship
Lakers.
DNIs. Chef Curry's teammate.
Who's that rocket guy?
This one comes from Instagram. It comes from Ben SZ8. To be fair, Draymond Green was locking up the best player on the floor and hitting 5 threes a game in his prime. 5 threes is a bit much.
5 threes.
Not 5 threes.
No
Maybe he was
chance.
assisting for 5 threes for his little mate Chef. Would you rather Rodman in the prime or Green in his prime?
Me playing with?
Yep.
Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Rodman all day.
Yeah.
Because I
Why?
like his off-field antics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would love to go on his Vegas trips. And he was a bit of a dog. Like, he was into opponents hard. And so's Draymond Green. But I will say, as an overall player, both elite defenders.
Yeah.
Like, really, really elite. But Draymond is a way better attacker. The Rod didn't have much in the paint.
No, he was bored. He didn't need to.
That's
he played his role perfectly.
But that's okay. But gee, some of the Dennis Rodman stories that I've heard through a couple of these shows, he's my idol.
Yeah, he would be. I'm with you. I'm playing with him. The Vegas trips would be fun. And you asked before, did I call Paddy Bimler a burger? Draymond is the biggest burger of all time. Draymond's a burger. He carries on. He tries to pick on, like he picks on guys that he knows that won't do anything. You know, Dennis Rodman, he wants that smoke off anyone. I'd love playing next to Rodman.
Yeah.
And he comes from like the best era too, like the proper era when it was proper basketball, not what these
Wow.
the
I
softies
didn't know
play
you
late.
thought that. I've had a really good time this year with the potty, and I hope, obviously, hopefully it continues. But I learned a lot of things about you.
Yeah,
See, I
okay.
thought you would have liked Green.
No,
Just a bit of a dogging type of player.
No.
What do you think he carries on a bit?
He carries on a treat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he always sucks up to LeBron too, which I hate.
Mate, you know what we figured out? Anything to do with LeBron, if anyone even says hi to him, you hate him.
Yeah. He tries to talk to LeBron all the time and befriend him and always sticks up for him. Like, just, come on, man. He's not even in your team. Relax. All right, let's get to the stalemate.
I love it.
Let's see what the fans think about Giddey. So, did Giddey save the Bulls season? When we're looking back at this trade too, even though Giddey's put up huge numbers, what Caruso's been able to provide for that Oklahoma City Thunder team, it's been a really good trade for both teams.
Yep.
This one comes from Facebook. He's basically putting up a triple-double, it feels like, since the All-Star break. KHZ says, is the Pope Catholic? And then on Instagram, Fawcetta says he's played a massive role. His contribution is transformative offensively for Chicago. The assists and the scoring are at an all-star level. He went to a whole new level when they got rid of Zach LaVine.
Yep.
And yeah, he's playing so good right now. It's his team. Like a couple of years ago, he was the dude at Oklahoma City, and then Shea and that had blossomed, and they've got this whole new team. But he is looking good at Chicago, and he'll get the max most likely, and they'll try to build a team around him.
You know, Hoz, I find sometimes when trades like this happen, some people say, I want to be the man. But then when it comes time to be the man,
don't know how to step up.
They actually don't. And you're like, hey, we got you here to be the man. But I think the opposite's happened to Giddey. I think he's sort of gone to the Bulls and he's just been shot out of a gun, and the Bulls gone, how good's this? This is an even better trade than what we thought. I feel when he was at OKC, he was still the man-ish, but they still had so many other players doing their job.
He's a distributor. He gets people involved. He lights up the stats. Like he does a bit of everything. And when you've got a guy like SGA, who is the dominant ball, like he's the one that controls the ball, and everyone else plays their role around him. He just sort of didn't suit Oklahoma City, but he's killing it. And I love when they played like they sort of all try to have a picture with him too. So it's not like he was a bad dude, which is cool. And he's doing really good for the Chicago Bulls.
Especially I find a lot of clutch Chicago Bulls moments this year. He's one of the ball. And that's what you want.
That shot over LeBron with Luka in the background, that's the Bulls versus Lakers. That's as good as it's ever going to get for an Aussie, I think, to go over.
For you.
Yeah, and I loved it.
You just absolutely love that as an Aussie and a LeBron hater.
All right, let's put my LeBron hate aside to come up with our pick 6 presented by Tab. We've got some odds here in the West. We've got Oklahoma City favourites at $1.65. The Lakers second favourites at $7. Then you got Golden State at 10s. Like they've still got to play to get into the playoffs. I wouldn't be touching that. I tell you what, if you think the Clippers, with all the stuff that's happened at the Nuggets, can get through a series there, they would be a good price to maybe ride a little bit early in the West and just see how that first and second round goes, because
17s.
Kawhi, he's only got a limited part of the season to go. James Harden is James Harden. I don't know, man. I don't hate the Clippers on that side. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be really hard to beat.
Yep.
But maybe a little bit of value on the Clippers. Anyone else that you liked? Do you genuinely think the Lakers are a shot to go on the other side?
No. I think OKC win it. I think they... Not comfortably. I just think the only thing with OKC is the big moments down the back end, down the back stretch. Are they that team yet where they can just go, well, yeah, we not deserve to win it, but in a big game against possibly LeBron and Doncic, like, can they step up and think that that's their moment? I don't know. Is there anyone come from deep, Oz?
From deep my deep is the Clippers play. The Houston Rockets are 26ers with the 2 seed.
Yep. 2 seed 26ers.
What about on the East? We've got the Milwaukee Bucks at 41s. Like Giannis has been there and done that before. I know Damian Lillard's, I think, got his issues at the moment and missed some games. It's very hard to see anyone beating the Boston Celtics and Cleveland Cavaliers, though, in a series of 7. I just can't see it. So I think on that side, I'm going to stick with the 2 favourites. I think one of the 2 favourites comes out of the East.
Yep.
All right, for the championship, you got the Oklahoma City 275, the same price as the Boston Celtics. Then you got the Cavs on the third line by themselves in single digits at 7s, and Lakers at 13s. Look, if you're going to have a play in the East and you want to hit some value, maybe you go the Cavs.
I just don't. I think Boston. I really do. I just think, like you said, it's the way you get there. Boston knows how to get it done in Game 7 games now, and I think the money's where it's at.
Okay.
The Tab knows. They always know.
Always know. And for free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Mate, that is it for this week on Hoops and Hits. I can't wait for the play-ins tomorrow. I can't wait for the playoffs, the proper playoffs to start. And what else? NFL draft coming up?
It's coming up.
2 weeks away?
I've been listening to a few podcasts. When you were saying, listen to that. I love them.
Yeah. Sanders starting to slip a little bit.
He's slipping heavy.
Yeah. If he doesn't go, if they don't go, if he potentially doesn't go on the top 2 or 3 picks, where either a Cleveland or Giants, that apparently he's going to slide really badly all the way.
Well, Cam, you think Ward's going to Tennessee?
That's a lock.
That's in.
That's a lock.
And then, are you letting go of Hunter? I don't think two.
Imagine if. Now that they've got with Cleveland, do you roll the dice with a quarterback for one more year and you have Abdul Carter with Miles Garrett opposite each other.
That's scary.
Anyway,
Very
that's
scary.
still to come anyway.
Still
That's
to
coming
come.
up in a couple of weeks. We'll get to it as we go. That's it for Hoops and Hits this week.